Everyone laughed when Cal Brennan paid just $7 for an old mare nobody wanted, until she led him into a canyon where a missing woman had been hiding for 5 years. But when Cal looked up and saw a young woman aiming a rifle at him, he realized Cinder had brought him there for a reason. What happened next? Watch the full video and subscribe to our page to discover the truth. Before we start the story, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from, and what time is it right now? The auction was almost over when Cal Brennan stepped forward and placed $7 on the auctioneer's table. The whole barn went quiet. Nobody wanted the old mare. She was 14 years old, with a bowed tendon, a gray muzzle, and tired eyes. A deep remount brand marked her left shoulder, a sign that she had once served with the army. She stood at the back of the pen as if she had already learned that human hands were rarely worth trusting. The auctioneer called her Cinder. Some men laughed. One man muttered, $7 for that old thing? Cal said nothing. He simply took the mare by the lead and walked her out. Above the barn, a wealthy rancher named Roar Landry watched him carefully. Landry owned the biggest ranch south of the rim and controlled much of the water around Salt Creek. But Cal Brennan owned something Landry wanted badly. 80 acres with a clean spring that never seemed to run dry, even during the worst years. Landry wanted that land. Cal had no intention of selling. Cal had once been a school teacher. Later, he had come west to raise saddle horses for the army. Life had not been kind to him. His wife, Mare, had died from lung fever in 1879. His son, Nate, had left for Trinidad after years of silence and misunderstanding. Now, Cal lived alone in a small adobe house beside the creek. His roof needed repair. His knee hurt whenever rain was coming. His barn had 7 empty stalls. And now he had a 14-year-old mare that had cost him $7. For the first week, Cal did not ride Cinder. He cleaned her hooves, treated her injured leg, gave her good hay, and left her alone when she wanted space. Every evening he noticed the same thing. Cinder stood near the fence and looked north. On the 9th day, Cal saddled her. The old mare walked out of the gate without fear. She followed the creek north as if she already knew exactly where she was going. They climbed through the scrub oak until they reached a high ridge. Below them lay Salt Creek Canyon, a deep maze of red rock. 20 years earlier, soldiers had lost a string of army horses there during the winter of 1878. No one had ever found a safe way through. Cal looked at the old remount brand on Cinder's shoulder. His stomach tightened. "This is where you came from, isn't it?" he whispered. Cinder stared toward the canyon. That night, Cal watched her standing beneath the moon. For the first time, he wondered if a horse could miss a place that had nearly destroyed her. Then he wondered something harder. What was he still missing? The next morning, Cal went to Landry's ranch. Landry sat at his table with his nephew, Toby. Cal removed his hat and asked, "Did you ever lose a daughter?" Landry's fork stopped. He said her name was Heidi. She had disappeared 5 years earlier during a storm near the canyon. Landry claimed he had searched for 3 weeks, but found nothing. Cal studied his face. Then he told him about Cinder. "The mare carries an Army remount brand," Cal said. "I think she came out of that canyon." Landry became very still. "What do you want?" he asked. Cal looked him directly in the eyes. "Do you still want your daughter back?" Landry offered money. A lot of it. Enough to solve every problem on Cal's ranch. But Cal refused to sell his spring. "I'll go down there myself," he said. The town heard about it before sunset. Some people called Cal a fool. His neighbor, Delbert Mackey, begged him not to go. "You've already lost your wife," Delbert said. "You lost your son. Don't go into that canyon and lose yourself, too." Cal answered quietly, "What if there is someone down there?" Delbert had no answer. On the morning Cal left, Delbert gave him an old leather pocketbook that had belonged to his grandfather. "The man who carried this never came home from anything he walked into alone," Delbert said. Cal took it. Then he rode into Lost Washington with Cinder. The descent was difficult, but Cinder never hesitated. She placed each hoof carefully, following a hidden trail as though she had walked it many times before. 3 hours later, they found a thin stream coming from the canyon wall. Cal drank. Cinder drank. Then they continued. Soon they found the remains of an old campfire beneath a rock shelf. Someone had lived there. Cinder raised her head. A low sound came from her throat. Then a voice came from above. "You are welcome to the water, but don't come closer." Cal looked up. A young woman stood on a ledge 10 feet above him. She held a rifle. Her clothes were worn from years in the canyon, but her eyes were steady. Cal slowly removed his hat. "Miss Landry?" The woman raised the rifle. "Don't call me that." "What should I call you?" "Hetty." Cal stared at her. She was alive. The missing daughter everyone believed was dead was standing in front of him. Hetty lowered the rifle slightly when she saw Cinder. Then her face changed. The hard expression disappeared. She stepped closer. "That horse," she whispered. Cinder gave a soft sound. Hetty reached down and touched her face. "That was my mare. Her name was Feather." She rested her forehead against the horse. For a long moment nobody spoke. Then Hetty looked at Cal. "Who sent you?" "No one." "That isn't true. No man comes down here for no reason." Cal looked at Cinder. "She did." Hetty almost smiled. Cal continued. "I bought her for $7. She knew the way. I followed." Hetty slowly lowered the rifle. Cal climbed down from his horse. "I am not here to drag you home," he said. "I'm here to give you a choice." Hetty looked away. "My father looked for me for 3 weeks," she said. Then he stopped. She told Cal the truth. She had come into the canyon when she was 18 because she knew what waited for her at home. She had survived there for years and learned to live by herself. She did not want her father deciding her life again. Cal understood. He removed the saddle from Cinder and made coffee. He opened Delbert's pocketbook and showed Hetty the old letter inside. They ate peaches and bread in silence. Then Cal told her about Marta. He told her about the wedding ring he had lost beneath his porch after his wife's death. He told her about Nate. "My son hasn't called me Pa in 2 years," he said. Hetty looked at him. "You have a son?" "Yes." "Then why haven't you called him?" Cal looked down at his coffee. "I suppose I was waiting for him to call me." Hetty shook her head. "My father sent his silence down this canyon." Cal answered, "Then I won't send mine up the canyon." For the first time, Hetty's eyes filled with tears, but she did not cry. She simply placed her hand on Cinder's neck. Before Cal left, Hetty made him promise something. Don't tell my father where I am. I won't. And don't tell the town. I won't. Cal nodded. Then he said, You don't have to come out. Hetty looked at him. I know. He told her he would return with salt, a knife, and boots, but he would never force her. Cal rode back alone. Cinder stayed with Hetty. When Cal reached the rim, he sat down and cried. Not because he had failed, because he finally understood something. Sometimes loving someone meant not carrying them away. Sometimes it meant letting them choose when to come home. That night, Cal wrote a letter to Nate. Nate, I went into Lost Washington. I went with a mare I paid $7 for. I came back alone, but I did not come back the man who left. I came back your father. Nate answered. For the first time in 6 years, he signed the letter, Pa. He was coming home. Cal also wrote to Roar Landry. Your daughter is alive. She is safe. She has chosen where she wants to be. I will not tell you where. Landry read the letter and stood silently at his window for 2 hours. For once, his money could not buy what he wanted. His daughter had to choose for herself. Cal kept his promise. Every few weeks, he rode toward the canyon and left supplies for Hetty. Salt, a knife, boots, food. He never demanded that she return. He never told her father where she was. He simply kept showing up. Then Nate came home. He stepped down from the wagon, looked at his father and said, Pa, I am not the man I was when I left. I'm here to fix your roof. Cal smiled through wet eyes. The roof has been waiting. Together, they repaired the house. The years began to soften. Roar Landry eventually canceled his claim on Cal's land. He never went into the canyon. His pride was too large to let him admit what he had done. He died in the winter of 1883. But Cal did not hate him. He had learned that carrying anger was another way of living inside a canyon. Then, one day, Cinder led Cal farther into Lost Washington. The canyon opened onto a small stream. A woman stood beside it. Hetty. And she was holding a young boy. She had come out on her own terms. Cal stopped several feet away. Are you all right? He asked. Hetty smiled. I am well. She looked down at the boy. This is my son. What is his name? Feather. Cal smiled. Cinder walked toward the child. The boy reached out and gently touched her nose. The old mare stood perfectly still. Years earlier, nobody had wanted her. Men had called her worthless. They had laughed when Cal paid $7 for her. But that old mare had carried Cal to a lost daughter. She had carried Hetty, a piece of her past, and she had helped bring a broken father and son back together. Years later, Cal sat on his porch at sunset with his granddaughter asleep on his knee. The light poured over Salt Creek Canyon, turning the rocks gold. Cinder came slowly up the lane. Beside her walked a younger mare. Cinder stopped at the porch. Then she lowered her head and rested her nose against Cal's knee. Cal placed a gentle hand on her face. He smiled. The old mare had once been called worthless. But Cal knew better. Sometimes the thing everyone else has given up on is the very thing that leads you home. And sometimes $7 is enough to buy a horse. But the love, courage, and second chances that horse brings into your life are worth far more than money could ever measure. Cal looked toward the canyon one last time. He had gone there searching for someone who was lost. Instead, he had found his way back to the people he loved. And at last, he had found his way back to himself. Thank you so much for watching this story all the way till the end. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. It really helps us a lot. If you want to watch more exciting stories like this, don't forget to subscribe our page right now. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is right now? And if this story touched your heart, please send some stars. Every single star gives us huge motivation to keep creating more amazing videos for you. See you in the next story. Take care of you, friends.